Jose Altuve spent 5 hours and 17 minutes proving that no lead in this game was real. Somebody finally went home. This is Astro 69, Jose Altuve. Nice, right? This is Game 5 of the 2017 World Series. It's a baseball game that started as Clayton Kershaw against Dallas Keuchel and ended like a bar fight conducted with bats. The World Series is tied at 2 games apiece. LA just won Game 4, 6-2. Game 5 is the hinge. Win it, you need one victory in LA. Lose it, and you have to sweep Game 6 and 7 in Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers won 104 games. The Astros won 101. With Kershaw facing Keuchel, the reasonable expectation is a tense game decided by one mistake. Do you remember watching this game live? At what point did you stop believing anything about the score? Because Hurricane Harvey flooded Houston 2 months earlier. The Astros carried the city's name on the road while their ballpark became a staging area for relief work. Now they're at home. Hi, Derek. Now they're at home, one win from pushing the franchise to the edge of its first championship. And their best players coming to the plate with the crowd chanting MVP. Jose Carlos Altuve. He was born May 6, 1990 in Maracay, Venezuela. At 16, he showed up at an Astros tryout and he got turned away because the organization believed he was too small. He's pretty small, right? Altuve returned with paperwork proving his age, demanded another look, and hit well enough that Houston signed him for $15,000. That story sometimes gets polished into a fairy tale, but there's a sharper edge to it. Altuve had to make adults stop dismissing him before they could even evaluate the skill. Once he entered the system, he hit everywhere. He batted .325 across the minors and reached AA in 2011. Houston called him directly from Corpus Christi, skipping AAA entirely that July. Then he hit safely in his first 7 Major League games, and his first big league homer was an inside the Parker at Minute Maid Park. By 2012, he was an all-star. The franchise around him was crumbling. Houston lost 106, then 107, then 111. Then everything changed, and Altuve stayed, and that matters to the way Houston come to see him. He wasn't a star imported when the rebuild worked. He was the one recognizable piece who survived the demolition. In 2014, he hit .341, stole 56 bases, and broke the franchise record with 225 hits. He won his first batting title. By 2017, he'd become something stranger than the inspirational little guy that everybody first made him out to be. He wasn't just a little guy. He's just the best all-around hitter in the entire American League. Yeah, he hit .346 in 2017 with 24 homers, 81 RBI, 32 steals. He reached 204 hits, making him the first player to lead his league outright in hits 4 straight years. In close and or late situations, he batted .448. What do you value most in a hitter? Power? On base skill? Or is it the certainty that the at-bat won't overwhelm him? His postseason was already ridiculous. Altuve hit 3 homers in Game 1 of the ALDS, then added 2 in the ALCS. The crowd's not campaigning anymore. It's announcing what it believes has already happened. And at one point in the minors, Altuve was so consistently mistaken for a bat boy that teammates joked the easiest way to find him was to look for the smallest guy taking batting practice swings with major league intensity. Altuve's first at-bat comes in the bottom of the first with Houston down 3-0. Keuchel allows 2 runs on Logan Forsythe's single. A throwing error adds another. Altuve singles with 2 outs, but Carlos Correa strikes out. Altuve strikes out in the third, and the Dodgers add another run in the fourth. Austin Barnes singles home Forsyth, making it 4-0. And the sensible version of this story starting to take shape. Kershaw has the lead, and Houston may have to return west, facing their demise. But that version only lasts long enough to feel believable. George Springer walks in the fourth, Alex Bregman reaches on an error, and Altuve singles to load the bases. Correa doubles home one, then Yuli Gurriel turns on a Kershaw slider and sends it into the left field seats. 4-4. Minute Maid Park doesn't rise so much as explode. It explodes. But Corey Seager walks in the fifth. Justin Turner follows, and Cody Bellinger crushes a 3-run homer to right. 7-4 Dodgers. Game is shaping up, right? Kershaw gets 2 outs in the bottom half, but Springer walks. Bregman walks too. Dave Roberts goes to Kenta Maeda, and Altuve comes up as they're chanting MVP. And Kenta gets ahead. Altuve works the count full. Then he pulls one deep, but foul. Then he gets a 94-mile-an-hour fastball near the middle of the plate, and he doesn't miss it. The ball travels 415 feet to left center. 3-run homer, now it's 7-7. And watch the swing again. There's no panic. The hands fire, the barrel arrives, and the whole night starts over. Was that the loudest moment in Astros history at the time? Or does the building somehow get even louder later on? 6th inning passes without a run, which in this game feels like a clerical error. And in the 7th, Bellinger slices a ball towards center. Springer dives when he should keep it in front of him, and the ball skips past him, rolls all the way to the wall. Bellinger reaches third, Enrique Hernandez scores, and LA leads 8-7. Then Springer leads off the bottom half and hits Brandon Morrow's first pitch 448 feet. Now it's 8-8. Bregman singles, Altuve lines Morrow's next pitch into the gap, and Bregman scores from first. For the first time all night, Houston leads. And Altuve stands at second base, and he's screaming at the dugout. So what does Correa do? Well, he does what Correa does. He hits a 2-run homer. Now it's 11-8. The stadium finally feels like it's forced the game to obey. All done, right? Nope. The Dodgers get 1 in the 8th. Brian McCann answers with Houston's 5th homer, making it 12-9. In the 9th inning, Bellinger walks. Yasiel Puig hits a 2-run homer. Chris Davinsky gets 2 outs and 2 strikes on Chris Taylor. 1 strike from the end. Taylor shoots a single into center, and Barnes scores. The score, 12-12. Honestly, what do you do at that point? Laugh? Start pacing? I turn the television off for 10 seconds, and then I turn it back on. Joe Musgrove turned a scoreless 10th. Kenley Jansen got 2 outs. Then he hit McCann. Derek Fisher ran for him, and Springer drew a walk. Bregman lifted a soft liner into left center. Fisher scored without a throw. Astros 13, Dodgers 12. Altuve finishes 3 for 5 with a homer, a double, 4 batted in, 3 runs scored. Houston erases deficits of 4-0, 7-4, and 8-7. LA erases a 12-9 lead. The teams combined for 25 runs, 28 hits, and 7 home runs in 5 hours and 17 minutes. In the interview room, Correa calls Altuve the best player alive right now. He says he told Altuve right before the 5th inning at bat, "This is your moment." Altuve redirects the praise towards Correa, then talks about the team's refusal to stop. They fell behind, they came back. They lost the lead, then they built another one. When he was asked about the length of the game, Altuve says that he could play 10 hours if Houston wins. That line fits him. There's no grand speech about destiny. Winning makes the exhaustion irrelevant. Manager AJ Hinch says he thought Game 2 was his favorite game ever. Then Game 5 exceeded it. Kershaw called the night physically and emotionally exhausting. Bellinger said it's the craziest great game he's ever played. Pardon me. So Houston's not champions yet. Altuve makes it clear Houston still has to beat the Dodgers in LA. The Dodgers win Game 6 3-1, forcing the series to the limit. And Game 7's not another classic. Houston scores 5 runs in the first 2 innings. George Springer hits his 5th homer of the series. Charlie Morton finishes 4 innings in relief. And Altuve fields Corey Seager's grounder for the last out. Altuve wins 5-1 and claimed the first World Series championship in Houston franchise history. The Dodgers, they returned to the World Series, in 2018, later win titles in 2020, 24, and 25. Houston wins their second championship in 2022. Their first title, however, becomes more complicated with time. Major League Baseball later determines the 2017 Astros illegally used electronic means to decode and relay signs. Altuve apologizes with his teammates in 2020. Reporting has also consistently indicated that he resisted using the trash can system, and Major League Baseball later found no evidence for the later buzzer allegations. You don't have to flatten that into a simple answer. The team cheated. Altuve was on the team. The evidence about his individual participation is different from the evidence about the club. A few weeks after the series, Altuve wins the 2017 AL MVP award with 27 of 30 first-place votes. He also shared Sports Illustrated Sportsperson of the Year with J.J. Watt. Both men became central figures in Houston's response to Hurricane Harvey. And Altuve's right knee causes problems in 2018. But in 2019, he hits the walk-off homer against Aroldis Chapman that wins the pennant and earns him ALCS MVP. The scandal chases the way baseball talks about him. On the road, the boos continue to follow. Inside Houston, the loyalty, it hardens. Now Altuve keeps producing. He hits 31 homers in 21 and reaches another World Series. In 22, he bats .300 with 28 homers, makes his 8th All-Star team, and wins a second championship when Houston beats Philly. In 23, he records his 2,000th hit, then hits for the cycle 9 days later. Then prior to the 2024 season, Houston rewarded him with a 5-year extension through 2029. And that effectively made him a Houston Astro for life. The club started to experiment moving him between second base, left field, and DH. The left field experiment didn't last very long, and he seldom plays DH anymore, really. He still had 26 homers that year and drove in 77 at the age of 35. So as of late July 2026, Altuve has 2,462 hits, 267 home runs, and a career .300 average. He has 9 All-Star selections, 3 batting titles, 2 rings. Is he the greatest Astro ever? Bagwell and Biggio still have arguments. But nobody has lived through the franchise's transformation more than Altuve. Next, we go outdoors at Busch Stadium. For Blue 20, the Jake Allen episode. January 2nd, 2017, the Blues are hosting the Blackhawks in the Winter Classic. The ice is wet, Chicago scores first, and Allen stops 22 shots while St. Louis wins 4-1. Different sport, different kind of pressure, same job. Don't let the next one in. Now, Altuve didn't win Game 5 by himself. Nobody could have. But whenever the game reset, he was there. A single in Houston needed traffic, a 3-run homer when the World Series looked like it was slipping away, a double when the Astros needed their first lead. Baseball usually gives you time to breathe. But this game took that away, and Altuve looked comfortable anyways. This was Astro 69, Jose Altuve, October 29th, 2017. I'm the Wolf. Thanks for hanging out, and maybe I'll see you next time.